Who doesn't love food during the holiday season? Even with all the dietary preferences nowadays, people from all walks of life still have a common bond with food. I mean, it just has a way of bringing people together. One of my favorite movies is Soul Food because it gives a vivid display of how a chaotic life can be brought into a peaceful norm around the table and some good home-cooked food. Now, let me give you a disclaimer because the UnCuT Diamond is not a cook. That is not my ministry. So whether your home-cooked meal is purchased, ordered, or DIY, the power of bringing friends and family around the table for some good home-cooked food, wait, is still the same. So today, for our Cooking for the Soul special, I would like to welcome my sister from another mister, Miss Lynn Sylvia. Welcome to Holidays at Home with the UnCuT Diamond, Lynn. I appreciate you so much for being on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who do we have with us today?
This is Nala.
Oh, hi Nala. Just beautiful and all festive with us today. So Lynn, you have been creating wonderful dishes in your kitchen since I met you. What is your fascination with food?
Well, growing up Cambodian American, my mom has taught me the value of bringing family and friends together with food. So I really enjoy cooking for and having people over.
Wow. So you mentioned you are from Cambodia.
Yes.
So you brought your traditions here to the United States. What are some of those traditions that you can remember?
Well, incorporating the, American dishes along with Asian. I call myself Cajun. So I bring those together, and some of the dishes that I enjoy making, obviously for the holidays, is, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, and throw a little flair of the Asian side in me.
Nice. So you add a little spice and seasoning in your food. That's your cooking for the soul. I will agree. What is one of your favorite dishes that you like to make?
Gosh, there's so many different dishes I enjoy making. My husband's an excellent cook. We've been trying to do some smoking and tinkering with that, but I think the most universal dish that I like to make is spring rolls. My mom has taught me how to make them from scratch, and I love putting different things together, especially when I have friends that are vegan or vegetarian. I have friends that obviously enjoy, seafood in their meals, or just the regular different types of meats, and I can do that with spring rolls.
So Lynn, I know you make a lot of meals in this kitchen, but if you had to choose just one, what would you say your favorite dish is to make?
There are a lot of different dishes that I enjoy making. I love tinkering with different spices and seasonings. I love to cook with my daughter and my son and my husband now. We've picked up smoking different types of meats. But the one dish that I really enjoy making is very simple. It allows me to bring different types of friends and family together. I can make the spring rolls into a vegan dish, a vegetarian dish, for those that don't eat meat. And then for those that do eat meat, I can add different types of pork and steaks to it, and even shrimp. So I enjoy making those the most.
Well, I cannot wait to get my hand on some of those spring rolls here in a minute. Now, I hear you talk about all the joys and the great moments about cooking. I'm sure that you have a few pet peeves. So just give me one of your greatest pet peeves about cooking.
Pet peeves about cooking? I don't know if that's a hard question. I think the one pet peeve is not being able to wake up the flavor in the dish that you're making, turkey. I love to add different seasonings to the turkey. And salt and pepper is not just gonna cut it. So I do enjoy trying to wake up the flavor, and that first bite that you take, it just melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's the cooking I'm looking for.
That's what I'm talking about. That's cooking for the soul. And if I'm recalling right, you actually take some time with your turkey prior to it being on the table that day.
I do. I take about a week to prep the turkey. I season her, I rub her down, we talk. I know that sounds funny, but she comes out perfect every time. I do. Yes.
So she has a name and everything.
She has a name.
Okay, so again, here's that cooking for the soul. You actually get in touch with your food before it is presented on the table to those you are sharing.
I hate to admit it, but I do.
I love it. And that's what I love about you. So earlier you mentioned enjoying cooking with your daughter. If I understand correctly, you all have been incorporating pet treats now too.
We have actually started doing that. She loves to bake, especially with her dad. I'm not much of a baker, but she has started making some treats for Kona and Nala here recently.
So you did differentiate between cooking and baking. Is that a pet peeve by chance when people try to intermix those two?
No, I think it's an opportunity to incorporate and have a universal dish at the table. So I'm not very much of a baker, but I can cook.
Nice. Yes, you can. I can concur with that. So we got a couple more questions and then we'll be ready to get to those spring rolls. Are you ready to get down? All right, looks like somebody's done with this interview today. So looking forward to next year, are there any dishes that you have decided I am going to challenge myself with that one because I've never made it before?
There is. I have tried and failed numerous times. I made it for my husband, key lime pie. It's his favorite pie to eat, and failed miserably multiple times. So my goal in 2022 is to knock that one out of the park.
Nice, nice. So for all of our foodies out there, all of our cooks, all of our bakers, all of our non-cookers, what is one last thing that you leave to the audience today about food?
I think I would say be adventurous. Try new spices, try new seasonings, wake up the flavor a little bit, knock it out of the park, enjoy it.
I love it. And that's cooking for your soul. Those are so good. So here we are to the good part. We're making spring rolls, right?
Yes.
All right, tell us about the ingredients. What are we starting with?
Well, welcome to my kitchen. The simple ingredients for making spring roll is obviously your vegetables. I like, for those that are vegetarian or vegan, I like an array of a spring mix salad that I use. The cucumbers, different type of lettuce. So I use iceberg lettuce, which is easy and it gives that extra crunch. Bean sprouts. I throw in the Thai basil in there because I love Thai basil in my dishes. And then cilantro. So essentially you can use any type of vegetable that you would like. Sometimes people use carrots or sliced or diced carrots. Next is the substance I call the body of the spring rolls. I use vermicelli noodles, which you can pre-cook in hot water, roughly about 5 to 10 minutes. Just make sure it's not gummy. So you have to test it, just like spaghetti. And then I use the rest of the body is meat. So for those that are carnivores and love to eat meat, this is pork char siu. You can also use sliced steak. For those that don't eat any meat or are pescatarian or love seafood, I use shrimp. And in the shrimp, I just boil hot water. Sometimes I season it, sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends how much time I have. So that's the body of the spring rolls.
Amazing. So I love the variety and how you've considered every consumer that is going to take part in these spring rolls. Great job. Another thing I want to point out is your safety habits. You made sure that you had 2 different tongues that dealt with your noodles and your pork. And then you did not use any utensils for the seafood as to not to contaminate food. That is extremely important, so I appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
A little bit about these rice sticks that you were talking about. So if I heard you correctly, you said this is similar to spaghetti. So you could use this in a meal that required pasta in the same way that you would spaghetti or fettuccine or...
Absolutely. It's so versatile. This is one of the reasons why I love the dish. So if I have leftovers, I put this in a vermicelli bowl and just throw all the meats together in a little bit of fish sauce or Thai peanut sauce, and I make my own cold dish. So yeah, you can even fry it up as well.
I love it, I love it. And I'm assuming that all of this is going to eventually be put into this wonderful item right here.
Yes, so it's just rice paper, which we will show you how it's prepared, and any brand will do. I'm very specific to a certain brand because it's the way I've been raised up here with my mom, and she loves her specific brands. And it's another thing, it's gluten-free. So this is why I love making this dish.
Wonderful. And so all of these items that are new to us can either be purchased at an Asian market or in the Asian department of our typical markets that we go to.
Yeah, so you can definitely go to Kroger's or Meijer's or Walmart, and they have an international aisle that I can pick some of these things up. And obviously I love making my stop at the Asian store, so.
I love it, I love it. All right. Let's let you get down to putting this together, and then I can eventually get to eating it. So now we've got our beautiful spring rolls, which are making me hungry by the minute. What is the final touch for this dish?
As my son says, it's the sauces. The sauce does the dish. So I have two different types of sauces that I'm gonna show you how to make, and it's so easy. And if you wanna cheat, you can actually already get them pre-bottled at your local grocery store.
Oh, I'm definitely a cheater. So you're making it homemade, but somebody like yourself can go to the store and buy it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so the sauce is really simple. So you can do several different types. You turn on the pan here. So medium heat. I like to use hoisin sauce. So this is my peanut sauce that I'm gonna be making. Just got a new bottle there. Whoops. So you're probably gonna use about, depending on how much you're making for or how many people you're making for, I use maybe a half a cup or a quarter cup. And I don't really use any measurements. I kind of just go with the flow on this one. So the hoisin sauce is in there. Then I add peanut butter. I love the extra crunch and texture. So you're probably gonna use a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And you're gonna mix it in there. And I like to use Jif if you're looking for flavor that has the natural peanut butter with a little bit of the crunch to it, not the smooth. So you're gonna just get that to simmer. And I add a little garlic. So for those that are don't have time to chop and prepare, I use the pre-diced garlic that comes in a jar. Or I love fresh garlic. But I want to show you that it's so universal to this dish that you can pretty much do anything. Add a little bit of water, just a touch. And as you can see, it's starting to simmer in there. And make sure to stir so you don't burn the sauce. And then a little pinch of sugar. Kind of that, maybe 2 pinches. And there you have it. Thai peanut sauce that is really quick to make. But like I said, if you want a quick cheat, you can always get your own Thai peanut sauce. I love, not to name drop, but I like just unique brands that are out there trying to taste different types. And it's gluten-free. But for those that have peanut allergies, you can use the basic fish sauce that you can pre-buy in a jar or make your own. Definitely Google the recipe. There's so many out there. So I'm gonna turn this off. And now we have our peanut sauce and fish sauce for the allergen alternative.
All right, so we have learned how to make spring rolls and homemade Thai peanut sauce. But as she said, if you like me, a cheater and proud of it, you can go to the store and buy one already pre-made. Now this is the part that I am good at, the eating. So I'm going to choose, with my little chopsticks, I'm going to choose the veggie spring roll. I'm gonna put that on my plate. All right, and then, is this dipping?
You can dip, or you can pour,
Okay.
or you can use fingers, because this is definitely a finger food.
Ooh. And the great thing about this, as you mentioned earlier, is this can be a main entree or this can be an appetizer. And so for all of these upcoming New Year Eve parties that we got coming, this may be a great option for that, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna put these down because I'm a finger eater. And I am going to take my spring roll and I'm going to dip because I'm a dipper. Ooh, I'm dipping. And this is the best part. I get to eat. That's good. I taste the peanut butter so well.
It's not a lot.
That is so good. I love it. And I can easily make this. Sorry. Anything you want to add before we close while I finish mine?
No, just enjoy with friends and family.
Yes, as I will. So thanks again, everybody, for cooking for the soul. This is good. See you later. For centuries, food has been a staple in relationships. From the secret sauce recipe at the family barbecue to the one restaurant you have to stop at when you visit home. Food is good for the soul. Now, I wouldn't be the UnCuT Diamond without reminding you to eat and drink responsibly according to your personal health plan this holiday season. But I'm also gonna challenge you. In this upcoming year, be intentional about creating opportunities to have some good cooking for the soul. I wish that your food journey will lead you to lifelong relationships that are healthy and prosperous this year. Happy New Year.